friends, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kristen, and if this is your first time joining me, thank you for coming along. I hope that you stay and watch our videos. So today is going to be a pup update. So this is Miss Betty Cake. Let me turn her around so everybody can see her cuteness. There she is. Little sweet pumpkin. So y'all know that Miss Betty has been having some like health issues. She was having some seizures, not like frequently, but enough that like it was concerning. So I have had COVID for a while now. Like, I'm still coughing, still nasally, still congested. And as I say it, I start coughing. But I thought somehow maybe I had made Betty sick. She had been around me before I realized that I had COVID. And so I thought, dang, like, I gotta get her to the vets. Like, she's just not acting right. At this point, I don't know what to do with her. Long story short, I've had several little dogs. All dogs have my heart. I'm a dog person, that's for sure. I mean, I love all dogs, but I love my little dogs. I love my pit bulls. I've had several little dogs, and they've all ended up with these same symptoms. And I have friends that have had little dogs that have ended up with the same thing as well. So Miss Betty has been diagnosed officially with congestive heart failure. So we spent a ton of money. Like, I remember when you went to the vet and like if you spent $500, you were going, what? Now like you're into thousands of dollars and they don't even think twice about it. They're like, yeah, you know, $3,000, who cares? And you're like, what? Like, that's insane for a 6-pound dog, right? So yeah, I mean, you just can drop tons and tons of money. I know when we had Mouse, we had spent like just a ton of money. And while it's not about the money, I took on Betty. You know, all my pets, you take them on, they're your responsibility. You take care of them. But at the same time, like, I think there's a level of like, are they robbing me? Like, it doesn't even cost me that much to go to my doctor, even if I didn't have insurance. Like, I know that for a fact because we have one doctor who we can pay out of pocket for, and it's honestly cheaper for us to pay out of pocket than it is for us to have health care. So, I don't know. The world's wonky right now, so obviously I love Betty. I will pay for whatever I need to pay for. So we did x-rays, we did labs, we did all kinds of stuff. They wanted more work done with her, which honestly, I was not spending another $1,700. She had to have an echocardiogram, basically like the dog version of it. Yeah, I mean, it honestly wasn't like a ton of stuff that she had in. It wasn't like, oh, let me just label it all off. Like, I mean, she had some work done, but it wasn't enough for the money that we spent, in my opinion. But again, you know, it is what it is. So you love your pets, and I think that's where they catch you, is that they know that you love your pets and you'll spend the money to take care of them, or you end up having to put them to sleep. So Miss Betty went to the vet, and so that is the outcome. I have to take her back in 2 weeks. We are going to be doing the exact same thing all over again and spending all this money because we have to see if the medication's working. So I just want to show you guys, she is on Vetmedin, which this is what my other pets have been on as well that have had congestive heart failure. My little Chihuahua had congestive heart failure. My Min Pin had congestive heart failure. It's just very common. The next medication that we have here is Salix, Salix. She gets half a tablet by mouth every 12 hours. And so she's taking that. And then the other thing she got is Enalapril. So she's also getting a half a tablet of that. So for her blood pressure, I guess, basically. I also still have to do a urine catch for her, so that should be entertaining. Like, yeah, getting these pills down her throat twice a day is just a lot in itself. So thank God she's got a little gap in the back of her mouth, and so I'm able to like stick pills down in her little mouth area. So I put a little bit of butter on them so that she can like swallow them like without any issues. So yeah, because she's very picky about what she eats. This little baby, she won't even eat a filet mignon. Like, she does like New York strip if it's prime, if it's like prime cut, like, or whatever. Like, she likes the high end, which, you know, she's a bougie dog, what can I say? But the odd thing is like, whoever had her before me, she loves pizza and she loves Nathan's hot dogs. So I say she's probably like a northern dog. Her people must have been somewhere from up north, because, you know, I always think of like northern people really liking hot dogs and pizza, like New York, you know, something like that. But yeah, so she's been very like clingy and wants to be held and loved, which of course she went through a lot of like testing, and they kept her for a while. She had to come out of anesthesia because they had to do the x-rays. So that's what's going on with little Cake here, sweet precious angel. So I will know more in 2 weeks. If the medication is working, then, you know, we're going to keep up with that plan. If it's not working, then, you know, sadly, I just have to own this. Like, this will probably be the last video that you see Betty in, if that's the case, because I'm not going to let her suffer. You know, congestive heart failure is nothing to laugh about. It's not, you know, it's a very difficult process, and I've had a dog like have it to the point which I knew she had it, but I didn't know what was going on, and then like blood started dripping out of her nose, and I was like, nope. And like, thank God we live close to a vet, their vet, and so I drove like lightning, and we were able to put her to sleep before it got like really bad. Like, I'm within like 10 to 15 minutes from the vet. So yeah, so, you know, you got to do what's best. It's a terrible, hard thing. It's just awful. And, you know, but the responsibility of dog ownership or pet ownership, you know, you're going to experience these things. And so you have to be prepared for that. So little baby's been through a lot, my sweet girl. And so she got a little bit of still labored breathing, but today is the first day that she's really been on the medication. Yesterday, she just got a shot, and so we started the whole regimen this morning. She eats, you know, good food, and her kibbles do not have grain in them. That was one of the questions. They were like, oh, are you feeding her kibbles with grain? And I was like, no, I spent like $100 a bag on dog food so that they don't have grain, but, you know, it is what it is. So that's what's been going on with her. That's the pup update, sweet little angel. So I'm gonna go let her go to her bed now. So, yeah, I love you. All right, so little Cake loves her bed. So she's kind of just staring at me right now, like, why did you put me down? But poor little thing, I feel bad. And I should. She's my baby. I love her and I take care of her. All right, so we got a couple other updates. So y'all, my video before shows that even though we're sick, we are, and I'm not contagious supposedly, we are still processing our oregano. So this is where we're at with the oregano so far. I gotta take these big leaves and like crunch them up. I'm hoping to get this entire jar full. You can see it's a very large jar. I would say this is like, I guess, half-gallon size or something. I don't know. Like, you think I should know my jar sizes, but you know, COVID brain, right? That's what I say. But anyway, so, and you know, stuff shrinks up when you're drying it. So, but it smells great. It smells like oregano. I love it. It's great knowing that it came from my growing. I've put a little pack in there to keep it dry. Now what I'll end up doing is obviously if I want to give this as gifts and stuff, I will do the suck and seal on it. I'll do like the suck and seal on it, so that way we can preserve it. All right, but the other thing was, and I was like, I didn't have the time to record because Betty was sick, and so I was just like grabbing these and going. But my wonderful brother, thankfully, he has some deliciousness that I have talked about. I've got to get over there. I've got to shoot a video on all these trees that he has. I'm telling you, it's such a blessing for him to have these trees. And I'm sorry for coughing. Like I said, I'm still working through COVID. So I got bananas from him. He called me and was like, hey, I got some bananas. Come over and pick them up. Honestly, I'm not trying to be greedy. And I wasn't, trust me. He had a bunch on this whole table. And I was like, dang, I really want two. But, you know, my brother has 4 children. So, you know, come on. I can't be a jerk like that. So, but I wanted to show you guys. Look at all the bananas. They're just loaded. So what happened is that he kind of picked them a little bit early. You can't let them ripen on the plant themselves because he has squirrels. And he said that's, which we all know about the squirrel issue, right? Like, take them squirrels out. So he had 2 already that the squirrels, he said big bunches that the squirrels had already gotten into and had done damage to, so he went ahead and took the others down. And so you know, that's what you got to do. So if you get your bananas, you have to pick them early. Just know that it's a super easy step. All you have to do is keep them in a cool, dark place. I usually, when we go to Whole Foods, we get the paper bags because that's just easier for recycling and giving back to Mother Earth instead of plastic. So we do the paper bags, and I just take the paper bags and I just slip 2 ends, you know, one open in over these bananas, and I'll let them sit for probably another week or 2, if not maybe a little longer, and they will start to ripen in those bags. So I don't have to worry about that, which is great. I mean, that's what I said. Remember, I had just said, so I put it out in the universe. I said I had gotten upset that Costco did not have any of bananas, and I was like, man, what's wrong with Costco? And then I started thinking, like, no, that's not how we need to go about this anymore. Is we need to start thinking about how we can take care of ourselves. And this is one of the ways. Like I said, it might have to be bartering. Like, I have banana trees. They just don't produce like my brother's trees. My brother's trees are amazing. They just do a lot of production, and I'm so grateful that he was willing to share with me, and so I'm so appreciative. So yeah, so that's what we have going on. Here's the other thing. So the person I call Brother Paul, he is up in North Carolina. He gave me a call today, and he was like, here, I'll show y'all. He was like, hey, he's like, y'all want anything from the market up here? He's like, they have a bunch of apples. So here you go. Here's the picture he sent me. So guess what, y'all? I got some North Carolina apples on the way. So I am super excited about that. And so we are going to be finding some stuff to do with some apples. I am sharing those apples. Those aren't all for me. We're all, you know, Brother Paul's taking some. I did ask him to get some for my mom and me, which means that my nephews will be able to have some. So that's what's going on with that. So I'm super excited. So we're probably going to have some apple recipes. I think it will be the perfect opportunity to make that apple pie that I've been talking about, that I haven't had the chance to get with you guys and do yet, just because I've been having all this other stuff going on. And so that's basically it. So I just kind of wanted to drop in with you guys, let you know what's going on, what we have growing, and just kind of keeping you in the loop with Betty. That's really kind of more what this video was about. Was, you know, remember, like I said, you got to take care of your pets like you take care of yourself. And so, you know, that was one of the questions that the vet had asked me, is like, what is Betty eating? And so, you know, my pets eat seasonally like me. So if I've got stuff growing in the garden, you know, or I get this influx of apples, I will absolutely be sharing with them. I will be mixing it into their wet food. So, you know, they get a good regiment of, you know, healthy things. So just keep that in mind, is the better you can care for your pets, the better off that they will be. And that, don't take on a pet if you can't take on the cost, especially when they are seniors. And Betty is definitely a senior, and that's where you're going to see a lot of expense. And sadly, I have been getting so many, not so many, but a lot of people, I would probably say a good like solid like 10 people in the last 2 weeks or so that have been like, hey, I have two 15-year-old cats. Do you know of anybody that wants to take them? And I'm like, what? Like, or like, hey, we've got some older dogs. Would, you know, do you know somebody that could take them, or could you take them? Or some people have like guinea pigs, and I was like, what is happening? Like, you know, but I looked at the pound, I call it the pound, the animal shelter locally, because I just wanted to see what was going on over there, because I've had so many people saying like, oh, I saw this, I saw that, did you see this pet, did you see that pet? And I'm like, you know, I always like look, because my heart just breaks and I want to do as much as I can for them. There are so many senior pets that are there that just breaks my heart. But we really need affordable pet care. And not insurance. I know that was one of the things that the vet brought up, was like, oh, well, you can do insurance for like $36 a month. And I'm like, lady, I have 4 dogs. So at $36 a month, that's a lot of money when you add it up at the end of the year that I may or may not even really need. So, and they're like, well, it covers their visit, covers this. And I'm like, stop. Like, just stop. Like, why does it have to be to the point where we need pet health care to take care of our pets? Like, it should be a reasonable cost so that we can adopt more, and that we can take care of all these pets in needs. Like, people are like, oh, adopt, adopt, adopt. But the problem is that you get this tremendous expense that oftentimes comes with them in their older life. And while I'm willing to pay, because, you know, that's the person that I am, I will take care of my pets as if they are, because they are my kids. Like, listen, if I have to pay, unfortunately, that's what I have to do. I love them to death. Literally, it breaks my heart when something happens to them. But I know a lot of people do not have the same attachment that I have. And that's really disheartening that, you know, I think their heart, for the most part, I would like to believe that it's in the right place. But the more I see the world these days, I just wonder where people's hearts are. So, you know, like I said, you know, be kind to one another, love one another. You never know what battle people are going through. So just keep that in mind, that, you know, life can be a struggle sometimes. And it just seems like the closer, you know, we get to elections, the more wonky things are getting. So it is what it is. All right, everyone, I don't want to keep you guys for too long. I know that I probably already have. I can talk for a while, that's for sure. All right, so as you heard earlier, love one another, be kind. I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for spending time with me and watching my videos.